Sacred 2 Remaster dropped an update today with a bunch of bug fixes in there, but I was reading through all the different changes, and the one that really stood out to me was the one with Expert's Touch. So the issue was, up until this update, if you made a new character, and in the character creation, you can turn Expert's Touch off if you want to run multiple aspects, which I did according to the UI, although it was still turned on through the back-end coding of the game. Now with this update, they fixed it. That button actually works. You can actually know for sure if it's on or off. But the crazy thing about this is, up until this point, I thought I was not playing with Expert's Touch. I would even have people come out and ask me, what's it do? How's Expert's Touch work? This and that. And I said, I don't know, never tried it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try it in the future. And it turns out I've been playing with it enabled this entire time. So what is Expert's Touch? In Sacred 2 Remastered, each class has 3 different categories of combat arts or abilities. I've been playing a lot of Dragon Mage, and over on the Dragon Mage, they have Dragon Magic, Elemental Magic, and Mentalism are the 3 categories, or aspects is also what they're called. Now, if you turn on Expert's Touch, that means you're going to really be using one of those aspects or one of those categories pretty much the entire time. And the reason for that is, if you have Expert Touch turned on, if you say cast a Dragon Magic ability, then your Mentalism ability will also go onto a cooldown as well. Now, if you don't have Expert's Touch on and you're running 2 or more different aspect categories, they don't share a cooldown in any way. In fact, they're separate. Literally, I can cast a Dragon Magic spell, followed straight up by a Mentalism spell, followed up by an Elemental Magic skill, like without any cooldown in between them. It's literally mind-blowing to me, and it's crazy that I thought all along, literally, this is how the game was supposed to be. And even back in my review video, on the very end of it, I was talking about how, in other videos as well, I've talked about how the combat is so slow. Well, a large part of that is because I was having a cooldown that I really shouldn't even have been having. And with this being fixed, and now that I actually know what was actually being impacted by this, I actually made a brand new Dragon Mage after the update came out to test if this was true, and I'm telling you in this video, and it is. The brand new Dragon Mage, I actually turned off Expert's Touch, jumped into the game, no cooldown in between them. I'm going to show you a little bit of comparison here of my Dragon Mage before the update and the Dragon Mage after the update. One thing I want you to keep in mind here too, if you're like me and you made a character before this update and you thought you had Expert's Touch turned off, but you're using different aspects, so not different skills, but different aspects. Like if you're using 2 Dragon Magic skills, their cooldowns are a little weird. But if you're using like a Dragon Magic and then a Mentalism, like different category skills, if you use one and then that other skill gets a cooldown on it, you have Expert's Touch turned on. And there's no way to turn it off. If you're on PC, sure, you can use a save editor, but I don't want to because I'm stubborn, so I'll re-roll. But if you're on console, I think you're just kind of screwed, honestly. So just kind of keep this in mind. You know, maybe you're like me and you thought, yeah, that's a normal mechanic, whatever, I can play around it. It's not. If you're playing multiple aspects, it's not normal to have like a global cooldown or something like that I was thinking. And, you know, maybe I'm the only one. Let me know down in the comments if you experienced that too and if you thought that was normal gameplay or whatever. Let's go ahead and though and compare before and after. Went ahead and jump to the game here. I'll go ahead and show you what we're talking about here. If you make a character, if you make it, we'll just make a single player one just for the sake of this. You click on new character, you can pick out your class, obviously, which god you want, light or shadow. But over here on customization, right here over on Expert Touch, this is going to be the one that we are talking about. You can see right here, it is off. I can click it and now it's on, off, on. Well, the way it was before the patch is you would go, oh, okay, it's turned off. We're not going to use Expert's Touch. And you can even see in here, you can say it's useful if you're using a single aspect. And I knew I wouldn't. I knew I wanted to play around with other aspects, so I had it turned off. Made my character. Well, behind the scenes in the code of the game, it actually had it on. It's super wild. All right, go ahead and jump into my Dragon Mage here that I've been playing. This one's probably my most played character here. But I wanted to show you kind of the comparison of before the patch and after the patch and what I'm talking about. So you can see right here, there's, you know, obviously the different aspects that we've talked about over here. You can see the one we're going to use right now is your Dragon Strike. And then we're also going to use Destroyer. You can see they're different aspects. Dragon Magic and then Elemental Magic. They're 2 different aspects. So watch what happens here. If we go ahead and do my Dragon Strike, look, there's a cooldown for my Destroyer. What in the world, dude? That is not supposed to be there. I literally thought that this was a global cooldown of some sort. And I just literally was like, well, we'll just play around it, whatever. Same thing happens here. If I use my destroyer, boom, my dragon strike goes on cooldown. Because they're different aspects. It is not supposed to behave this way. It is not supposed to behave this way. If it's doing this for you, then you actually have expert mode turned on. Let's go ahead and jump back into the game though. So that's that character. And again, I really seriously want to emphasize this because I feel like a lot of people are not going to know this or catch on to it. If you think that you turned expert mode off and you're in game and you're using skills from two different aspects, like I'm doing right here, I'm going to use my destroyer. But then your other skill from your other aspect goes on cooldown. You actually do have expert mode turned on. It's not supposed to happen this way. Let's go ahead and jump over to the new Dragon Mage I made after the patch here. You can see this one's a level 5. And as far as I'm aware, let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong on this, but I don't know if there's a way to actually check if you have this turned on just in-game. I mean, I looked around over here in your logbook. I thought maybe it would say over here if you have Expert's Touch enabled or not, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So that cooldown thing I just showed you a minute ago is kind of how you know if you have it enabled or not. Now I set up combos on this guy. Let me go ahead here. And we have the same abilities on here. This is the character after the update that truly has expert mode turned off. Watch what happens. Remember before, using these two abilities would set the other one on cooldown. Look what happens now. No cooldown, dude. Like literally, this is game changer. Look at this. No cooldown. Sure, you still got to wait for the actual abilities cooldown, but there's no global cooldown like I was thinking. That's the difference of what Expert Touch really is. I'll go ahead and show you right now as well. We have 3 different abilities from each of the 3 aspects. We have a Mentalism, a Elemental Magic, and a Dragon Magic. Look, we can use them all. No cooldown on either of these, dude. No cooldown. Look, still no cooldown on this one. We can use them back to back without any sort of cooldown. This is absolutely crazy. I literally was just minding my business this morning and I was reading through these update notes and I saw this and I was like, there's no way, dude, there's no way. I've been playing with this enabled this entire time. And I was mind blown to realize that I really had no idea. I thought that's how the game was supposed to be. I thought it's an old school game. They have a long global cooldown, so it just kind of slows down the combat a bit. And it'd be interesting to go back in time when I very first got the review copy and have this not be a bug where I was truly playing without that expert mode like I thought I was doing, and actually seeing if that would change much in terms of my review and thoughts and overall enjoyment of the game. I will say, I got to level 5 on that brand new Dragon Mage. I will say it's almost like a totally new game to me, honestly, without that whole global cooldown. I put that in quotes because it's really not a global cooldown. It's actually a bug of having Expert's Touch turned on, even though it's not supposed to be. Let me know down in the comments, did you experience this? Am I the only one? Maybe I am the only one. Maybe everyone else knew about this, and if so, so be it. And that's going to wrap it up for this Sacred 2 remastered video. Hopefully you found this video useful and or entertaining. If so, don't forget that like button and subscribe if you think I've earned it. Please consider becoming a YouTube channel member today. The support helps more than you know. But don't forget, your view alone means the absolute world. As soon as you're done watching this video, make sure you go ahead and check out my review video if you haven't yet, or any of our other action RPG content here on the channel. Not just Sacred 2, we cover Titan Quest 2, Titan Quest 1, Grim Dawn, Last Epoch, the list goes on and on, Path of Exile 1, loads of indie action RPGs, and lately I've been into a bunch of different roguelikes and survivor-like games. Hopefully you have a look around and enjoy.